Hello, and welcome to BattleRisk Gaming, content brought to you by a dad who loves to game. We have never been in a better place to make builds in Destiny 2 than we are right now. Prismatic has opened up a whole new world, just like Aladdin did for Jasmine on that magic carpet ride. Today, I will be bringing you one such awesome build. This is Traveler's Retribution. It is a scorching, igniting, unraveling, jolting, slowing, freezing, endless ability slaying machine. So, grab a cup of coffee and let's get into it. Our chosen subclass is Prismatic Warlock. Our super of choice is going to be Song of Flame for the Radiant, Scorch, Ignition, boss damage, and overall damage reduction. The super is amazing against bosses and champions in any level content and is currently the best super in the game and my personal favorite. Our class ability is Phoenix Dive for the burst of healing and the very short cooldown. Our melee ability is Arcane Needle, which is our main source of unraveling. Throw it at an enemy to begin to unravel them and get unraveling rounds for your strand weapons, which is good against barrier champions. Our grenade of choice is going to be Storm Grenade. This is so we can proc our exotic armor. Our first aspect is Bleak Watcher. This allows us to consume our grenade, create a stasis turret on the ground which slows and freezes targets and is good against overload champions. The next one is Hellion, so we can get a solar buddy which lobs mortars upon activating our class ability that cause scorch and ignitions and are great against trash mobs and unstoppable champions. Our fragments of choice are Facet of Protection for the damage reduction when surrounded by combatants, which is important since we are using a sidearm. Facet of Hope for our class ability to recharge quicker while having an elemental buff, and with this build we will be regularly amplified, have Radiant, and have Restoration. Facet of Dawn for an easy way to get Radiant and increase our damage output as well as proccing Facet of Hope. Facet of Balance to refresh our abilities quickly by rapidly defeating targets with light damage to generate melee energy and rapidly defeating targets with darkness damage to generate grenade energy. Facet of Purpose to regain restoration when we pick up an orb of power since we have Song of Flame equipped. And the final slot? Well, it's really dealer's choice. You can go with Facet of Honor like I did to gain Darkness Transcendence energy when you throw or destroy your Tangle. Or maybe Facet of Command, which allows you to get melee energy back when you defeat a frozen target, which creates a stasis shard that generates melee energy. Or Facet of Grace, which gives you a bonus to Transcendence energy on kinetic weapon kills. Facet of Sacrifice, which gives you Darkness Transcendence energy when you have an Arc, Solar, or Void buff, which you'll have plenty of light buffs. Facet of Solitude if you want to create a Severing Blast on landing rapid precision hits. Facet of Ruin to increase the size and damage of the burst when you shatter a stasis crystal or frozen target, and increase the area effect of solar ignitions. Or even Facet of Dominance so you can throw out your arc grenade instead of consuming it, which causes jolt and is good against overload champions. Our exotic armor of choice is going to be Getaway Artist. This exotic armor allows us to consume our grenade, which converts into an arc soul and makes us amplified. The little arc buddy is with you for 20 seconds and grants 5% grenade energy once per burst as long as it is damaging enemies. Our exotic weapon is none other than Traveler's Chosen, which is a bit of an underrated sidearm. It works great with Prismatic. If you have the catalyst, Traveler's Chosen has Osmosis, which converts it into an arc damage type. So after you consume your grenade, Traveler's Chosen will then do arc damage. It also increases reload, handling, and target acquisition for every stack of Gathering Light you have. You can have up to 10 stacks of Gathering Light, and if you consume all 10 stacks by holding your reload button, it gives you a nice chunk of all your abilities back. For stats, you want to stack Resilience first, up to 10 since it's the most important stat in the game, providing our main source of damage reduction. Then go for Discipline up to 10 for that quick grenade recharge, so you can always have your arc buddy and stasis turrets up so you can get amplified, freeze, and slow targets. Then go for recovery, so you can get your class ability back and get that mortar buddy up to scorch and ignite targets. For our helmet, we want to take an arc siphon. I've chosen 2 sources of arc damage, but really your elemental slot is up to you. I recommend a special weapon here. Then we want to also have a heavy ammo finder, so that we always have heavy ammo to chunk down champions and bosses. For our gauntlets, 1 bolstering detonation, so I can get class ability energy when dealing grenade ability damage that has a 7-second cooldown after it is procced, and 2 grenade kickstarts to get a large chunk of grenade ability energy when you consume your grenade. For the chest, it's completely dealer's choice. I like to have it charged up for the extra armor charge, but you can place any mod you want here. I recommend damage resists, ammo reserves, or that charged up. Then for our legs, take an innervation to reduce the grenade cooldown every time you pick up an orb of power, insulation to reduce class ability cooldown when you pick up an orb of power, and absolution to reduce all ability cooldowns when you pick up an orb of power. These help to support Traveler's Chosen and keep your abilities up more frequently. For our class item, we'll take a powerful attraction to collect all nearby orbs within 12.5 meters when we activate our class ability. Reaper, so we can spawn an orb of power after using our class ability with a weapon kill. And Bombers, so we can reduce our grenade cooldown whenever using our class ability. As you can see by watching the video, the first time I got my super, it took me 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And I was able to go Transcendent 7 times in the 9.5 minutes it took me to complete the entire Master Mode Lost Sector. This all depends on ad density. The rotation is simple. 1. Hold the grenade button to consume your grenade and transform Traveler's Chosen to Arc, proc Getaway Artist, and drop a stasis turret on the battlefield. 2. Use your class ability to get Hellion. 3. Use your Arcane Needle powered melee on an enemy to start unraveling. 4. Go to town with Traveler's Chosen. Build it up to 10 stacks of Gathering Light. If you face stronger enemies, switch to heavy or special as needed. 5. At 10 stacks of Gathering Light, hold your reload button to consume them all and gain a huge chunk of all ability energy. If your grenade and class abilities are already up and Traveler's Chosen is at 10 stacks of Gathering Light, recast all of your abilities at enemies first and then consume the Traveler's Chosen stacks. Then all you have to do is repeat. As you can see from the gameplay, in which we are 23 light levels underpowered, the build does well with champions and harder content. Only the times where I wasn't really paying attention and I got ganked by a champion, or the boss, or that dumb little shank in the back, those are the times when I really died. But other than that, I mean, that's kind of how Destiny is anyway. You're just gonna die. That's how the game is designed. But other than that, I wasn't really struggling to get ability energy, to control the battlefield, to output damage. The build does have its limitations though. Traveler's Chosen works best at close to mid-range, so picking an elemental or heavy weapon that has longer range would be beneficial for you. Pro Memoria from the Pale Heart with Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch was doing really well for me. This build also performs better in content with higher ad density. However, the build is still really flexible. You get the benefit of having 3 Warlock buddies, your abilities come back so quickly, you can proc your super and Transcendence very often, which seems almost endlessly as long as you have your ads to kill. And if you're better at this game than I am, which I'm sure most of you are, because I'm just kind of a casual dad gamer, then I mean, you're really not going to have any problems with this at all. You get the benefit of the arc buddies, you get the benefit of going Radiant, having Restoration, Unraveling, Scorch, Ignition, Freezing, Slowing. Really, it's just the best of so much that this Warlock kit has to offer. I am so confident with this build that I've taken it into the Final Shape Raid, Excision, Nightfalls, the different planets just to run around, the Pale Heart, Seasonal Activity, and more. The only place I haven't taken it yet are the Master Raids, Grandmaster Nightfalls, and Grandmaster Excision, but I've taken it all the way up into content just before that. If you enjoyed this video, which I hope you have, please consider dropping a like, a subscribe, and click that little notification bell so you can stay up to date on any future content. Thank you for watching BattleRisk Gaming, and don't forget, as always, enjoy that cup of coffee.